A content creator by the name of Choke No Joke just exposed how Jay-Z and Charlamagne the God ruined his life back in the day. This dude, Choke No Joke, is not just anybody. He was actually on The Breakfast Club a couple of years ago. But when you scroll down, the video has been privated, and it's been privated for a particular reason.
Gave Ray Daniels the donkey of the day, saying that he don't know what he's talking about Jay having the album done, and then Jay looking for partners, this, that, and other. Charlamagne is Jay-Z's. Charlamagne been Jay-Z's since I did The Breakfast Club. Okay?
As of lately, Charlamagne the God has been getting exposed and called out for his unwavering loyalty to Roc Nation, right? To him being damn near compromised with how he dealt with Roc Nation. But what Choke No Joke is about to break down, this unwavering loyalty that Charlamagne the God is just getting backlash for has actually been here for almost a decade now, and we just ain't noticed. Because a lot of these things that were taking place with Charlamagne the God doing Jay-Z's, I guess, dirty work for him behind the scenes, if we're believing what Choke No Joke is saying is true. So if you believe Choke No Joke is telling the truth, then what you're about to hear is Charlamagne doing dirty work on behalf of Jay-Z, and it's not good.
And for many of y'all that don't know, I was on The Breakfast Club, right? But I was on The Breakfast Club, and they pulled my interview down because I was talking about Jay-Z.
The interview has been taken down as privated, so I can't show you guys exactly what he said on The Breakfast Club. However, the story he told about Jay-Z on The Breakfast Club, he has told in other podcasts and during other interviews. So I can show you guys what the Jay-Z story is, and then just imagine that he's telling this on The Breakfast Club in front of Charlamagne the God and DJ Envy and Jay-Z lovers, okay? So just imagine him telling this story in front of them. All right, so now you understand why things went absolutely left. But it gets worse, trust me. But here's the Jay-Z story on how Jay-Z's crew fractured his jaw.
Was this thing about you getting beat up by Jay-Z's people? What happened with that? Is that real or people making stuff up?
No, that's real.
Okay.
In a nutshell, Dame and Jay-Z already had beef.
Okay.
Prior to the world knowing it, right? Being the tender penis men that they are, fighting over women,
okay.
I was working for Rockefeller, first time working for Jay, because they were split, but nobody knew. Dame takes me to a Jay concert to film it, and Jay's wondering, yo, who's this dude filming? So he sends his little man over to Dame to find out who's filming. Dame told him, yo, that's Choke. He works for us. He work at Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? His little man go back to Jay, tell him, yo, Dame say he works for Rockefeller and stuff. Jay's like, yo, I don't care. Get that tape. You know what I'm saying? I didn't agree to him filming. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, people don't know. It's Rockefeller, but then it's Damon, and then it's Jay.
Right.
Even though we are both under this umbrella, we not rocking with each other.
This is not the first time I've heard a story. I've heard a story from other people other than him. So people are swearing by this story that is true. And you can even tell by how he's talking. He don't sound like somebody who's lying, right? He's composed. He's going straight through it. It don't sound like he's not telling the truth. It sounds like he's telling the truth. All right, so when you tell a story like this, and when you say it on a national platform like The Breakfast Club, you understand why Jay-Z might type in. But here's the thing, Charlamagne the God, according to Choke No Joke, again, according to Choke No Joke, not Poetic Flacco, Charlamagne the God did much more than just take down the interview. Once Jay-Z tapped in and let them know, this dude is green-litted, I don't rock with him, Charlamagne the God, according to Choke No Joke, went out of his way to take food out of his family's mouth and ruin his life.
Right, but nobody knew it until that day. Right? Or some may have known, but I knew that day.
Right.
Because why am I getting jumped and I work for you too? Right? So they jumped me to get the footage, to get the tape, the camera.
And you were giving it up? Just on some
I would have gave it to him if he would have just simply came over to me and said, or his man came over to me and said, yo, man, Jay don't want Dame filming the concert. Or Jay don't want nobody filming. Yo, could you give us that tape or not film? It would have been that simple. These stupid niggas think they got to jump me for the camera instead of just approaching me like, man, but you know what? We always young. I'm a chalk it up to immaturity.
Okay.
Right? You know what I'm saying? But however, it did happen. One of the dudes tried to kick the camera out of my hand and I was holding it while I was fighting him. You know what I'm saying? And he went to kick the camera, and when he went to kick the camera, I moved the camera.
Okay.
And his foot hit me kicked me in the bottom of my chin. My bottom teeth slammed up to the top teeth. And that's what fractured my jaw. And I I let go of the camera to, grab my chin. And the camera fell, Jay-Z, Little Man, the same one that sprayed R. Kelly with the mace, grabbed the camera, ran out the door, and they all ran out. Long story short, I went and approached Dame after I got out the hospital. He told me it was Jay that did it. Then Jay, manager John Manelli, negotiated between me and Jay. Jay gave me a check. I kept my job at Rockefeller. I let it go because for me to get millions, which I should have did, and me still being in the street mentality, I didn't want to press charges on Jay-Z because I was worried about everybody calling me a snitch.
Right.
He comes on the Breakfast Club and he tells this story. Now, obviously, this story makes Jay-Z look like an absolute monster. Like a monster. Now, it's unclear if they knew, he was going to tell this story when they invited him on, or if he just snuck it on them. But nonetheless, though, he told this story on a national platform, and it made Jay-Z look like a monster. So Jay-Z called in, and as you guys heard initially, when Jay-Z called in, they edited out 20 minutes from the interview. They edit out 20 minutes of the interview where he's talking about Jay-Z. Now, ask yourself this question. Which artist do you know got the power to call up to the Breakfast Club and say, hey, edit out every time this dude mentions my name, like during this interview, edit it out? Who do you know with that power? People done came up to the Breakfast Club, they done talked about other people like a dog. But when it comes to Jay-Z, you can't talk about Jay-Z like a dog. So Jay-Z called in and he got this dude interview, edited out. And eventually, he got this dude, an interview taken out. Now, this was the biggest interview of his career. So he got this dude's opportunity, taken away. But even after getting his opportunity for the Breakfast Club taken away, that was not enough for Jay-Z and Charlamagne the God, according to Choke No Joke. They went the extra mile to make sure he don't eat.
Shout out to you know who, call you know who. But yeah, so I did the Breakfast Club. They asked me about my whole situation at Rockefeller and everything. And, I told them the truth about Jay-Z and, the funny stuff that he did. And when he came to Dame house to check my temperature after I got drunk and all that stuff. So, I'll tell the truth and I'm raw. So Jay didn't like my interview on the Breakfast Club. So my interview on the Breakfast Club was an hour and 10 minutes. They cut out 20 minutes of it. And then I had a problem with them redacting my interview and censoring it to appease Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? And that caused the beef between me and Charlamagne, and me and Charlamagne never been cool since then. And then Charlamagne been allegedly helping Jay-Z and them block me because I had a deal at MTV.
Whenever I hear a story about Roc Nation and Jay-Z or affiliates, it's almost an identical story. I'll be real, you don't understand how many people we know with this exact same story. This identical, this story is almost identical to other stories you hear from other people. Bobby Shmurda damn near got the same story, right? All right. Bobby Shmurda would tell you, bro, Jay-Z and them trying to get me banned off social media. But the story of getting into a disagreement because they did you dirty, you voicing your complaints after being done dirty, and then them going out of their way to utilize their power and connections to ruin your life and make sure you don't eat and blackball you, that's literally a Roc Nation and Jay-Z blueprint. No pun intended. So he tells the story of, he goes to MTV he was working with this specific producer who had a relationship with Charlamagne the God. And like he left the meeting, they told him, bro, you've been greenlighted, let's go, right? You know, like the pilot is gonna be filmed, let's go, right? Like you got the deal. But nothing was signed yet. So he leaves thinking, man, I got the deal, right? Now he makes a mistake of telling Charlamagne the God, I think at some point, that, yo, I'm working with this producer to secure this thing at MTV. Coincidentally enough, the same day he went back where they told him, yo, you got the gig, Charlamagne the God was showing up for a meeting right after him. And according to him, according to Choke No Joke, okay, that coincidence, all right, would haunt him to this day because essentially he never got his shot to really be in the industry because of this moment.
With this girl, Dara, and my dumb ass tells Charlamagne that the deal was done. I had a tunnel deal with MTV, and that's when Charlamagne was a personality on MTV, and Dara was one of his producers. I walked out with a deal. Charlamagne walked in the meeting after me. By the time the end of the day, my deal went away. So I know it was Charlamagne. But that's another story. That's why I don't him. And I'm glad that, you know, over the years, I didn't see him, you know, because back then I was really, 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 really angry, and I would have went to jail. And I definitely would have went to jail. And you know, win, lose, or draw, I was going to jail. Because trust me, I was going to jail if I seen that nigga, right? So the fact that, you know, he's Jay-Z's, you know, is the reason why he's attacking Ray Daniels. So I don't know why Ray Daniels, you know, I text Ray Daniels too today. I'm like, nigga, why the hell are you going at Charlamagne? Go at Jay-Z. Like, who you think is sending Charlamagne to talk? Why would Charlamagne be going at you because you said something about Jay-Z album drop and then Jay-Z looking for a partner? What the that got to do with Charlamagne? That has nothing to do with Charlamagne whatsoever. But the fact that Jay-Z got his balls knee deep in Charlamagne's throat, allegedly, is why, you know, Charlamagne sits out here and does damage control for Rat Nation. So, Ray Daniels.
I'm gonna say this, man. Yo, Charlamagne the guy got to be careful. Like, Charlamagne has to be careful with how he's moving, bro. Like, you're making enough enemies on your own, but these things you're doing on behalf of Roc Nation is really rubbing a lot of people like the wrong way, right? Yo, Jay-Z, for the most part, is a billionaire. He can afford to kind of like sit up high up here, throw stones, and never see these people. Bro, if you keep doing these things on behalf of Jay-Z, yo, these people are going to run into you at some point. They're going to see you. And, yo, it's going to be very dangerous. See, I'm not talking about, yo, he says something on the radio daily, right? And they want to punch him in his mouth. Like, those things are pretty normal when it comes to the culture. But what we're referring to is people who feel like Charlamagne the God took food out their mouth on behalf of Jay-Z. Taking food out of a man's mouth, that right there is how you get consequences beyond a tussle, beyond a fight. When a man back is up against the wall and he can look up and say, Charlamagne the God is the reason why I can't feed my family today, that's not something you really want on your conscience, bro. Or on your face card, bro. Because it can get really dangerous. When you get the blackballing people on behalf of Roc Nation because you want to show this allegiance to Jay-Z, that gets dangerous and tricky, bro. Now, I'm not saying this applies to Choke No Joke, because Choke No Joke, I'm sure he's doing fine, he's doing well. I'm saying if you do this to the wrong person, and that man can no longer put food on the table for his kids, he's coming to see you, and he's not coming to see you to tussle, bro. Stop doing what you're doing. Just stop. Just stop. Ray Daniels, you know, like the dude who kind of woke it up this week, right? Ray Daniels had further statements to say in regards to Charlamagne the God connection with Jay-Z, Desiree Perez, and Roc Nation. Now, Ray Daniels is the dude that Charlamagne the God gave a call to after he went viral for saying that Jay-Z reminds him of Trump. Charlamagne the God gave him a call to chastise him for saying things about Jay-Z. And I'm like, Yo, bro, what's going on, yo? Whenever somebody says Jay-Z name, Charlamagne the God is picking up the phone to call. Like, why?
First of all, here's the crazy part. Who did I say Charlamagne? I mean, Charlamagne called me because I compared Jay-Z to who? Donald Trump. Remember I said that a few minutes ago. What was Rock Nation response to me? Fake news. Who branded that word?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Y'all using his terminology. Y'all using it's the playbook. So I just see the playbook. Now, if you think I called the play out, maybe I called it too early and I shouldn't have. But I deserve the respect of a conversation. But instead of doing that, he goes on the radio. He clearly says, Ray said it like he knew it, like he knows it. You hear me saying, let me tell y'all what I heard.
What I heard. This is a rumor.
I literally said, the person that called me, you didn't even hear that. You just want to attack me. Let me tell you something. The last 7-8 years, Charlamagne has changed his entire brand. When the last time Charlamagne punched down on somebody black? That's a podcaster. He lifts up every podcaster. Everybody gets a shout out. Why is Ray Daniels not on Black Effect? I'm one of the biggest out there. You don't think they will? I've tried. They don't want to help me. Why don't they want to help me? Because they're connected to bigger businesses, and that business probably telling them you can't help them. I get it. I've been attached to some of them same businesses. I'm not mad at it, but you ain't going to stop me from calling it out. So for me, it was just interesting that he went that far. And then there was the second thing was, see, you got to remember, Charlamagne does a donkey of the day, guys, every day of the week.
Yeah, every day.
Why did he post mine? When's the last one you seen on Instagram? When's the last time Charlamagne posted donkey of the day on his IG? That was a hit piece against me.
So Dame Dash just called you, right?
Yeah.
And Dame Dash said, I'm warning you, Ray, what's about to happen. Now, I feel like it's a lot of conspiracy when it comes to Rock Nation.
Yeah.
Like, Rock Nation to me sounds like the mob.
It sounds like the Illuminati. Yeah.
Like, it sounds like the mob. Like, hey, if you say something about them, so.
They laughing. But how many times do it have to happen to where it's no longer funny? Like, how many times do we have to hear about Rock Nation ruining somebody's life before it's not funny? How many times do it have to happen before it stop being this weird conspiracy? Because I can name you dozens. Even when Rock Nation started sending copyright strikes to content creators, yo, they were claiming literally Getty images of Jay-Z. They were copywriting those images. These people are just plain evil. If you watch What's the Dirt video and you leave that video still thinking Jay-Z ain't evil, then I don't know what to say to you, bruh. But it's no longer a conspiracy. This is the reality of what we're dealing with, bruh. These people are evil.
When you have these conversations with Dame Dashes, he's telling you like, hey, bro, don't say nothing about them, man.
No. Dame. So it's weird because Dame will tell me, stay away from them because they're going to get you. And then Charlamagne tells me, stay away from Dame because he's going to get you.
Damn.
Everybody telling you this. It's like they feed you the same thing, but I'm a man, I'm a human. I f with Dame. He called me, I answered the phone. If Charlamagne called with an answer, I don't have a problem with nobody. But my thing is, do I deserve the respect of a phone call? Or are you going to try to? That was a hit piece. Charlamagne went on the radio, literally iHeartRadio, to do a hit, to put out a hit on me for Rock Nation. How the hell does he get away with that? That's the interesting part to me.
So you really think Charlamagne works for Rock Nation?
That was it. Dog, did you not see the paperwork?
I seen
they had a paperwork for the casino.
It's other people that own businesses that they don't want people to. You might own a business, and you might not want people to know that you own that business.
You're correct, but if I don't want people to know, I shouldn't talk about it. You don't want people to think you work for Rock Nation. Like, what do you have to do with it? Why? What do you have to do with it? Why are you calling me? Why are you jumping in it? You got your head so far up Jay-Z ass, you can't even see reality no more.
That might be his friend.
No, bro. Charlamagne don't have friends. People like that don't have friends. They don't have friends. Dame and Jay was friends. Look how that turned out. It's not friends. It's business. It's always about business. And I guess my shit is working now. Let me tell you something. I know so many things about Rock Nation that I can reveal that I would never. Because I don't want to hurt nobody's business.
Charlamagne just posted a picture of Desiree Perez on his Instagram. And I'm like, bruh, Charlamagne is one of us. That's what makes this so hard, because Charlamagne is somebody who we literally watched growing up. Like, Charlamagne the God is a media personality, man. To see him in bed with Rock Nation or to see him do the things he do, it just doesn't make sense, man. I don't understand it. Now, Like, I do understand, Brett, that like Rock Nation, I guess, can help him, right? Advance his agenda, advance his career. But at what cost? At what cost, bro? You're beefing with people who was your literal homies, like academics, over Rock Nation, bro. Like, at what cost, man? But y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this, okay? If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here to find out how Nolan Wall's friends just made another huge mistake during their interview. I'm going to see you guys in this Nolan Wall's friends video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.